Britain preparing for the worst after concerns over the Queen's health continue to grow. Family have now gathered around her bedside in Balmoral, Scotland. We are going to bring in a guest, not a stranger to our show. She's joining us now live from London, England, with the latest. She is award-winning journalist and royal commentator, Afia Hagen. Wonderful to have you back. So sad on these circumstances. But Afia, you know, first, this has been your beat. This is what you've been following, the family, the royals, for many, many years. So first, your reaction to where we find ourselves currently with the news headlines, and also what is the atmosphere like today in London? Uh-oh. Okay, Afia, we can't get your audio just yet. If you can stand by, we're going to get that sorted out very, very quickly. I mean, ladies, let's react to this. This is unfolding as we speak. We are a live show. When you started to hear news today that perhaps, you know, well, let's just check in. Afia, do you have us now?
You know, can you hear me now?
Yes, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, we'll react again. If I can just re-ask the question, Afia. Your reaction, you've been a royal commentator for many, many years. What is your reaction to the story?
It's like you said at the top of the show, some days are harder than others, and this is certainly one of those days. There's definitely a somber mood here in London, here in the United Kingdom. It's been raining on and off pretty much all day, and that kind of sums up where we are at the moment. We started getting these lines around lunchtime, just after midday, in fact, with that note that was passed in Parliament and grave faces all around. And I must admit, initially I thought it was the worst, but then we were told, in fact, that there had been a deterioration in the Queen's health. And then a few minutes later, we were told that the family were gathering at Balmoral. And I think those two things are very significant. First of all, that we were told that there'd been a deterioration in our health. And that second of all, that we were told that the family are gathering at Balmoral, and that's all her children and some of her grandchildren as well. They have arrived. We've seen them arriving via a private jet, landing in Aberdeen and then driving the short distance to Balmoral. We've seen them driving inside of the estate. I think we're just awaiting for Prince Harry to arrive at the moment. It's fortuitous, certainly, that Harry and Meghan happen to be in this part of the world. They're supposed to be at the Well Child celebration tonight, but they both won't be attending. Harry and William are both in Balmoral without their wives. Kate has stayed in Windsor with her 3 children who just started school today. So a big day for them, but a sad day for them as well, knowing that their grandmother is not well.
I mean, listen, we've been covering the Jubilee a lot here on the show. You've been covering the Jubilee. I mean, 70 years on the throne. The last time this has happened was when her father had passed away, King George VI. So here we are. When you're in London, I know you said, interestingly, it's raining hard sometimes, which I think is so prophetic in some ways. But is the mood in London overall one of sadness? Perhaps that's a rhetorical question. But when you're out there on the street, when you're looking out your window, what is the atmosphere like in the city?
Such a difference from the Jubilee, where the sun shone most of the time at least. And it just, you know, this 4-day weekend and everybody was just having a good time, whether you attended the Jubilee or not. You know, and the difference here in September, we've had such a glorious summer. Like you said, it is raining cats and dogs and has been pretty much on and off all day. And it is a somber mood. I think like a lot of people, we kind of thought that the Queen was immortal, that she would always be here. And on Monday and Tuesday, when we got those pictures out of Balmoral when she was meeting our new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and she was looking quite small and quite frail with the bruises on her hands and the stick that she was using. You know, I said to a couple of royal commentators that I was happening to be working with yesterday, you know, I said she just reminded me of my grandmother in that setting, in that kind of homely room, you know, wearing her tartan skirt and her cardigan. It's cold up there in Balmoral at the moment, even though it is only September. And, you know, it just made me think, this is a grandmother. This is a 96-year-old woman who is still working hard, who is still shouldering this responsibility. And yes, she did look frail. Let's admit it. She did look frail. And a lot of us didn't want to say it because, like I said, we always believe the Queen will be here. She's been here as long as I've been here. There's not many people around that will remember a reign that wasn't the Queen. So it's a very somber mood here in London. Whatever you may say about the royal family, there's such an affinity for the Queen, for Queen Elizabeth II, for her reign, and the things that have happened over 70 years, and she still manages to keep up. So whatever you may think about the royal family, the affinity for Queen Elizabeth II remains.
And even here, Althea, 90% of Canadians have only known her as monarch. But I'd love to ask you more about Balmoral as a place. Like, we know how much that place means to her, how much time she's spent there. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Balmoral is the Queen's favourite place to go on holiday. She spends all her summers there. She has done since she was a child. It's a very special place to her. This huge castle, this sprawling estate. I've been. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you'll find these really, really cute stories about the Queen, like wandering the estate with her protection officers, tourists coming across her, asking her if she has seen the Queen, not recognising her.
Yes.
It's one of the places. Yes, and I'm sure you've heard that story about the couple that actually got her to take a picture of them. Can you imagine? And so it's one of her favourite places to be. And we've seen some really beautiful pictures of her family taken on that estate. It is a beautiful estate. It's her favourite place to go on holiday. And, you know, I don't want to say too much, but isn't it poignant that she's there at this time, that when she's in this time of ill health, that when her family are gathering, it's at one of her favorite places in the world.
Hey there, wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.